puzzle. I just found a big piece. I got it. Hey guys, Mandy Fraker here, again to talk to you about movies. As always, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and ring the bell for notifications about future videos. Here to talk to you today about breakout roles. I love success stories, especially when they have to do with movies. In the 1980s, there was a little boy who went with his brother to audition for a movie. He showed up, and the producers liked him better than he liked his brother. Little did this kid know it would make him famous the rest of his life. This kid's name was Jonathan K. Kwan, and the movie was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. He later, if you don't remember, he played Short Round. He later went on to play Data in the movie Goonies. Classic movie. If you haven't seen it, well, to quote a famous doctor, I feel sorry for you. He still signs autographs today. I think he has a little business or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But it's not exactly a millionaire. But you know what? He'll go down in history as Short Round and Data. Down in Long Island, I believe in the 90s, talent scouts were searching for a kid for a new up-and-coming movie. This movie was a one-act play written by a guy for an acting class. And he came in there with this one act, and they thought it was so good that they said, hey, can you write another act? And it was for a one-man play, and it was about a kid sitting on a stoop, just observing his environment in the Bronx and watching the mafia operate in the 1950s. That movie was A Bronx Tale. And that kid was Lilo Brancato. He was on the beach in Long Island with his friends, and he was doing impressions of Robert De Niro, more specifically in the movie Taxi Driver, and these guys loved him and got him on the spot right there. And I'd love to say he went on to do big things. I mean, he was in The Sopranos. He did play Matt Drinkwater, Matthew Bevilacqua. But he did have a run-in with the law due to some drug addiction, and he actually just got out of prison. And he's trying to do some new things. I don't know how that's going to work out for him. Don't know that he was really talented in the 90s, and unless he honed his skills in prison, I don't know that he's much more talented now. I love little stories like that, man. In Glasgow, in Scotland, they were handing out flyers to young girls for a part in a movie and offering auditions. So, picture this. Danny Boyle, the director, he goes out into the hallway and just, like in the movies, lined with young girls, beautiful young women, all hair done up, makeup, outfits, everything, ready to crush it and get that part. And he looks around the hallway and he sees this young girl, 19-year-old girl, and she's got just a plain hairdo, plain look about her, and she stood out among the rest. And he knew that she was right for the part. That girl was Kelly Macdonald, and that movie was Trainspotting. That's Kelly Macdonald right there. She later went on to go into Boardwalk Empire as Knuckle Thompson's wife, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it. And the reason why he picked her, other than the fact that she stood out and he wanted that look, was she was 19 years old at the time, and she was completely unknown. So what he wanted, and she played a 14-year-old girl in the movie, right? And he didn't want people to know that a 19-year-old was playing a 14-year-old. For instance, in the movie Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio was 22 years old playing a 16-year-old kid. And then you have like Johnny Depp in 21 Jump Street, the TV show, for you old people out there, not the movie with Jonah Hill. He was older, in his 20s, playing, a high school kid, but he didn't want anybody to think this girl was 19. And I think she was in Gosford Park, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. I don't remember. She's probably not driving a Maserati to Starbucks and, having the paparazzi chase her around and put pictures of her in People magazine. But she made a life and a career and a living out of it for herself. And all she did was grab a flyer and go to an audition, knowing full well she probably wasn't going to get the part. And she's famous today. And I really love stuff like that. Rewind to 1979. They're having auditions in, I believe, Melbourne, Australia for a movie. I believe the director's name was George Miller. And there was a girl going for an audition, and she pressured her brother to come along with him. He was just coming along for the ride. He had gotten in a bar fight the night before, was kind of down and out, beat the hell up, black eyes, head all swollen, face practically damn near purple. And she was like, hey, just come with me, escort me, I'm nervous, whatever. He shows up, the director takes one look at him and says, hey, I like your look, we're looking for freaks for this movie. I want you to come back in 3 weeks and read for a part. 3 weeks later, he shows up, totally healed. They like that look too, and they have him read for a part. And that guy was Mel Gibson in a little movie called Mad Max. And if you look at his filmography, that was basically his film debut. Prior to that, I think he was in a couple little TV shows or little independent movies or something like that. And that's what made him famous. And many years later, he'd go on to, be in Lethal Weapon and many a Man Without a Face and many other movies, man. World famous today. And all that guy did was show up with his sister for her to audition. Kelly MacDonald, same thing. She grabbed a flyer that was getting handed out and showed up. Lalo Brancato, spending a day at the beach with his friends, and all of a sudden he's a movie star. And then sadly in jail not long after that. Jonathan Caquan, just your everyday average young kid. I think he was like 7 or 8 years old, just going along with his brother for a movie audition. Famous for the rest of his life. I met him about 2 years ago at Monster Mania and got his autograph. And he still sounds today in his 40s exactly like he did at 7 years old in the 80s in Goonies. And he's famous for the rest of his life signing autographs, man. And again, he's probably not, driving a Maybach to, the Louis Vuitton store in Los Angeles and getting his picture snapped by paparazzis. But hey, man, guy's famous. So what are you going to do? Other, notable mentions, of course we have, Sylvester Stallone. I don't even want to get into that. That's a whole nother video for an hour. But you have things like movies that brought people back. So you have Liam Neeson, movie Taken. Obviously he was in Schindler's List and many other movies and was famous, and his career was kind of fizzling out. And they offered him the part of an action star, and he knew the movie was going to bomb. But he figured, hey, I'm going to learn karate. I'm going to get a free trip to Paris. Why not show up and give it a shot? Turned up totally bringing his career back. Huge action star. And they made, unfortunately 2 or 3 other sequels, which weren't really good. And then you got Run All Night and The Commuter, also not the best movies, man. But hey, the guy got famous again and probably reaped millions of dollars worth of rewards. And I just love stories like this, man. You really take a look at what goes in the movies and how people appear. But that's all I got for you today, folks. So as always, please subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell for future notifications. And just a real quick thing, these things you see behind me here, these little stand-ups like this, it's from a place called Knee High Horror. You can find them on Etsy. These are like, I don't know, $10, $15. They make a really good addition to my decorations here in my man cave. But like I said, subscribe to my videos, man. Support me. I'm just a small artist here looking to do a big thing. Hope to see you around the internet. Mandy Fraker, out.